In China, as the economy continues to deteriorate, many people are choosing to stop paying Social Security. With widespread unemployment and shrinking incomes, most can no longer afford the payments, especially when Social Security itself has become a high risk gamble. Man, yesterday I made a major decision. I ended the flexible employment Social Security plan I had paid into for 5 years. Every month, I paid over 1,500 yuan for Social Security and medical insurance, the lowest tier. Together with my wife, we were burning nearly 40,000 yuan a year. For what? If I stopped paying, I could actually use that money, take a break, live a little, breathe. Now, they've even pushed the pension age to 65. I'm not sure I'll even make it to 65. Why endure all this suffering just to chase a promise I may never see? Living into my 50s would already be a victory. A young man also explained why he stopped paying. Man, I work in Guangzhou. The minimum Social Security payment for enterprise employees here is about 1,800 yuan a month. If you join, your company covers about 1,200 yuan and you pay the rest. But now, the minimum payment period has been raised from 15 years to 20. Frankly, I have no idea how long I can stay employed. Sooner or later, almost everyone faces a midlife crisis at work. And if I lose this job, who's to say I'll find another employer willing to cover Social Security? More urgently, I need cash now. People drowning in mortgages and car loans can barely breathe each month. Some are behind on Huabei payments, some rely on small loans just to survive. Who can afford Social Security with a salary of just a few thousand yuan? It's a luxury we can't afford. We have to focus on the present. And third, look at the retirement age, 63 for men. Honestly, will I even live that long? Their reasoning is brutal but clear. They pour money into the system, yet it's a question whether they'll even live long enough to see a return. Worse, after years of contributions, the retirement age keeps getting pushed back. Meanwhile, when the CCP is financially desperate, it robs the public without shame. In 2023, local governments drained Social Security reserves, forcing the China Social Security Fund to dump assets worth 120 billion yuan, rattling market confidence. Simply put, people no longer trust the CCP to guard their future. According to official CCP data, the China Social Security Fund lost 138.09 billion yuan in 2022 alone, with a dismal investment return of negative 5.07%. The truth behind these losses is obvious to anyone willing to look: corruption, mismanagement, and betrayal. In China, the truth has come to light. The Social Security Fund, money scraped from the pockets of the people, has been gambled away in the stock market. Man, oh my God, the Social Security I paid was actually used to speculate in stocks. I understood it clearly. They took our hard-earned money, meant to guarantee our future, and threw it into the stock market casino. And when they lose, who pays for the losses? United States. I didn't even want to speculate in stocks, yet they forced me into it by stealing my Social Security and pension funds. Some people say it bluntly: if they make a profit, they pocket it. If they lose, the people bear the cost. Social Security premiums keep soaring while our money is being gambled away. Tell me, brothers, am I wrong to be furious? On April 22, 2025, the Wall Street Journal revealed a staggering truth. Over 40% of China's flexible workforce, delivery drivers, live streamers, small business owners, have abandoned the pension insurance system altogether. Why? Because they're forced to shoulder both employer and individual contributions. Together, it drains about 20% of their monthly income, a crushing burden for workers already struggling to survive on unstable pay. Man, why are young people refusing to pay into pension insurance? It's simple: they're broke. Every penny they earn barely covers rent, mortgage, kids, daily living. Where's the money for Social Security? Everyone wants security when they're old, but reality is cruel. I was born in the 1980s. I know this system locks away your money for 20, 30 years. Years you may not survive. For young people facing risks now, this insurance solves nothing. Liu Xin, a 29-year-old delivery driver in Chengdu, told the Wall Street Journal he pays about 1,400 yuan in Social Security monthly, almost 2 weeks' worth of food. He didn't sugarcoat it. I don't believe I'll see a penny of that money after 40 years. In today's collapsing economy, Young workers have little left after Social Security deductions drain their wages. Woman, I just got off work, and my boss told me my Social Security contribution was deducted. From my 2,500 yuan salary, 1,800 yuan was ripped away, leaving me with only 700 yuan. I work 22 days a month, meaning each day's labor is worth barely 30 yuan. What's the point of studying law in this country? You might as well shut down the law schools. Law students are treated like garbage. Xu Zhen, a capital markets expert, told overseas Chinese media that this wave of young people refusing to pay is nothing short of a rebellion, a brutal awakening to reality. Xu Zhen said, young people no longer believe the CCP system will secure their future. They just want to survive today. Song Tao, a US-based law PhD, added, high-ranking CCP officials pocket hundreds of thousands of yuan in pensions every month, while the grassroots are squeezed dry. How can this not breed rage? He cited a shocking case. A party secretary of a high court in Shanghai lived in an ICU for years, burning through tens of millions of yuan in Social Security funds. When the scandal broke, public anger exploded. The bottom line is clear. More and more Chinese have completely lost faith. They are done feeding a corrupt system that betrays them. As the US-China tariff war drags on, bankruptcies, layoffs, and unemployment sweep across China. Finding a job is now a brutal fight for survival. Man, it's hard. It's brutally hard to even find daily wage jobs now. Openings are few. Good luck finding one that pays daily. This year is hell. Woman, you have to be thin just to work as a cleaner now. If you're not the right look, they won't even let you mop floors. I'm crushed. The more I think about it, the sadder I get. Woman, how do you find a job? I was unemployed, came to Hangzhou to find work, and struggled for a month. When I finally found a job, after 25 days, I realized I didn't fit in. I felt useless. I was so anxious I thought I would starve to death. Why are others rich while survival itself feels like a luxury to me? I just want to live with dignity. Woman, factories have vanished from Ningbo, Shanghai, Jiangsu. It feels like the whole job market has been frozen. I'm now heading to the train station, looking for hope in another city. Xiao Li, who works at a labor agency in Wuhu, Anhui, spoke bluntly, factories are collapsing left and right. Many have shut down. Workers can't make money anymore. Even basic consumption is falling. Wuhu City once had over 2,000 industrial companies. BYD, Sherry Automobile, Conch Cement among them. But after 3 years of brutal epidemic lockdowns and the battering of the US-China trade war, China's exports to the US have plunged. Bankruptcy is everywhere. Earlier this month, a factory owner posted a chilling video. Man, work has stopped. Friends, you asked if US tariffs would affect us. Well, 90% of our business is US exports. As of yesterday, tariffs surged to 125%. The result? Total production shutdown. Even OEM customers ordered us to stop. We had to haul back goods from the ports. The losses? Beyond calculation. China's real estate market continues to deteriorate severely following the US's tariff retaliation. The mainland's real estate bubble is on the brink of bursting. Recently, the news of plummeting housing prices in the Jiangling Times City project in Nanchang, Jiangxi, has attracted market attention. An owner revealed that she spent 1.19 million RMB to buy a house, and the market value was only 400,000 RMB 4 years later. According to Jupai News, Nanchang Jiangling Times City is located in Honggutan Julong Lake New City. When it was launched in September 2012, the price reached 12,000 RMB per square meter. But as of April 2025, the reference average price has fallen to 4,388 renminbi per square meter, and some houses have even been sold at 40% off. And many old owners feel that they have been stabbed in the back by the developer. On April 17th, the owner, Ms. Wang, said that their family purchased a 3-bedroom and 2-living-room unit in the community in 2022 for a total of 1.19 million RMB, but they didn't expect it to be worth only 400,000 RMB recently. The remaining mortgage is 700,000 RMB. Even if I can sell it now, I have to spend another 300,000 RMB. In this regard, a staff member of the sales department of the community said that the property was developed by a state-owned enterprise, and the last 100 houses were sold at a reduced price to clear the market, and the next project will be developed. Currently, they are selling very quickly, and he said, "If the old owners are making a fuss, doesn't that prove that the new buyers got a bargain?" This incident was trending on April 18th and sparked heated discussions. This house is more than half the price. It must be a huge loss. Another fact is that the remaining houses are basically leftovers from others, each with its own shortcomings. But the price difference is enough to make the old owners bleed. If they don't lower the price, the developer will have no money. The real estate market is in recession now. There is no way. The general environment of the real estate market has been like this in recent years. This is normal in the case of a sluggish housing market. New houses are not selling. Who will buy second-hand houses? It can fall further, and you will lose money if you buy it. The more you buy, the greater the total loss. To put it bluntly, the bubble of houses with no appreciation potential in some places has burst. To put it nicely, they are leftovers from others. To put it bluntly, if you don't lower the price, you can't even get the leak roots. The owners in Chongqing are exactly the same, and they have lost more than half of their money. This is everywhere. I also lost hundreds of thousands of RMB. Don't worry about it if you live in it yourself. If you speculate, it will be considered a failed investment. There is nothing to say. The current market is like this. You make money if you buy at the bottom, and you take over if you buy at the high. At this stage, if you are an ordinary person, don't buy a house. Someone else said, "What ordinary families fear most is this. After working hard for decades, saving a sum of money, considering buying a better house to live in, increasing the number of assets, and enjoying a better quality of life. As a result, the price of the house was cut in half not long after it was bought, which is equivalent to working for more than 10 years in vain." On April 18th, mainland management consultant Liu Zhangdaji wrote that many old owners could not accept the developer's drastic price cuts. They formed rights protection groups and asked the developer to compensate for the price difference or return the house. But the developer insisted that the price cut was a normal business behavior and had nothing to do with the old owners. The house was the property of the developer, and the price cut was due to market considerations and the need to recover funds. The attitude of the developer made the old owners feel helpless and angry, and they began to seek help from local authorities and relevant departments. As for the reasons for the price reduction storm, Liu Zhangdaji believes that, first of all, the supply and demand of Nanchang's real estate market is unbalanced. In recent years, the phenomenon of oversupply in Nanchang's real estate market has become increasingly serious, especially in some remote sectors and emerging areas, due to factors such as imperfect supporting facilities and inconvenient transportation. The demand for housing purchases is insufficient. In order to recover funds as soon as possible, developers have to adopt the strategy of price reduction and promotion. In addition, the authorities' regulatory policies on the real estate market have also had an important impact on housing prices. In recent years, the authorities have introduced a series of regulatory policies such as purchase restrictions and loan restrictions. These policies have suppressed the demand for housing purchases to a certain extent, resulting in a decline in the transaction volume of the real estate market. In order to cope with market changes, developers have to adopt a price reduction strategy. At the same time, some developers have also adopted a price reduction and promotion strategy due to tight capital chains or poor management. They hope to quickly recover funds and alleviate financial pressure by selling at a lower price. However, this practice often causes huge losses to old owners, triggering social dissatisfaction and rights protection actions. In Beijing and Shanghai, housing prices have also seen a significant decline. In some areas, property values have dropped by as much as 50% compared to their peak levels. The downturn reflects weak market confidence and sluggish demand. Many homeowners in these cities are now facing steep losses and growing financial pressure. On April 16th, data released by the National Bureau of Statistics of the Communist Party of China showed that the national sales of newly built commercial housing in January-March 2025 decreased by 2.1% year-on-year, of which residential sales fell by 0.4%. China Everbrite bank account manager defrauded nearly 100 million RMB, more than 60% of which was used to reward anchors. Recently, an incident of China Everbrite bank account manager, female, using her position to defraud bank customers of 160 million RMB has caused heated discussion. As of the time of the incident, nearly 95 million RMB had not been recovered. Of this, more than 60 million RMB was used to reward anchors. Tech Finance Online reported recently that the relevant verdict showed that from June 2009 to June 2022, the initiator of the incident, Xi'an, used her position as an account manager of a branch of China Everbrite Bank in Zhengzhou to recommend her fictitious wealth management products to previously familiar customers. She promised to guarantee principal and interest and high returns, thereby defrauding the trust of 31 victims. As of June 2022, Xi'an had defrauded customers of a total of 160 million RMB. Among them, as of the time of the incident, Xi'an had returned 60.31 million RMB of principal to the victims and paid 7.66 million RMB in interest, leaving 94.48215 million RMB to be recovered. Of the more than 90 million RMB, in addition to buying cars and houses, Xi'an used the most to reward anchors in live broadcast rooms, involving an amount of more than 60 million RMB. Among them, more than 59.51 million RMB was recharged on the Yinke platform, and more than 1.7 million RMB was recharged on the Douyin platform. According to the judgment of the Zhengzhou Intermediate People's Court, Xi'an was found guilty of fraud and the stolen money was recovered. The evidence in the case shows that from September 2016 to September 2022, Xi'an's 3 Yinke platform accounts had a total of 4,091 recharges, a recharge amount of more than 59.01 million RMB, and 253,660 rewards. These 3 accounts gave gifts to a total of 2,565 anchors, but mainly concentrated on 16 anchors. Xi'an also recharged more than 490,000 RMB in 2 Yinke platform accounts and rewarded 232 anchors, most of which went to 7 anchors. The news that the account manager of Everbrite Bank defrauded bank customers of nearly 100 million RMB and spent more than 60 million RMB rewarding live stream anchors has sparked widespread attention and heated discussion among netizens. Many expressed suspicion that the rewards were a form of money laundering. One user, Faifan, questioned, "Is this kind of reward really not money laundering?" Another, Free Wings, commented, "Such an obvious money laundering behavior." A Tencent netizen remarked, "Rewarding anchors is the most convenient way to make dirty money disappear. The rewards should also be recovered."